Hey guys, Chad here. Now you know I'm always proud of my South Carolina roots. I usually can't shut up about how great this state is. But today we're actually going to flip the script. That's right, I'm going to give you the dark side of South Carolina. In this video, I'm actually going to count down the top 10 reasons not to move to South Carolina. Now, some of these are deadly serious. Others are a little bit humorous. Yes, we've got ghosts, but more on that later. And number 10 will absolutely surprise you. So stick around to the end. You might thank me or even haunt me later for it. What's up guys? I'm Chad Dorman and I'm the local realtor right here out of Columbia, South Carolina. Now I help people move from all over, help them relocate to the Palmetto State, especially you out-of-towners and luxury home seekers. Now normally on this channel, I'm your personal cheerleader for South Carolina living. But today I'm actually gonna put that on hold and I'm gonna put on my honesty hat. We're talking about the downsides, stuff other realtors might not tell you because, well, it's their job to sell the place, of course. But my job is actually to help you make the right move for you. So if that means pointing out the gnarly bits of South Carolina, I'll do it. And with a smile and a wink, of course, that same Southern charm. Now, before we dive in, if you find value in my candid approach, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, give me a thumbs up. And I post new videos on South Carolina living all the time. Thinking about moving here but want to chat first? Book a Zoom call with me. The link's in the description. It's in the banner where you can get the barcode that you can do it. Shoot me a text, call me anytime. I love talking with you guys about your plans, your fears, your dreams. All right, ready to count them down? Let's get into the top 10 reasons why you might want to stay away from South Carolina, or at least come in with eyes wide open. All right, let's talk about number 1, this brutal weather, the one everybody tends to be asking me about all the time. Let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. You've heard about southern sunshine and mild winters, right? Well, let me introduce you to the flip side of our climate. South Carolina weather can be straight up brutal at times. These steamy, humid summers, our summers aren't just warm, they're like walking into a sauna with your clothes on sometimes. In the worst months, in July and August are the worst. Now we have it throughout the year, but in July, high hovers around 92 degrees. Factor in that infamous humidity, it often feels like well over 100. Step outside in August and you'll be sweating in places you didn't even know you had pores. We actually get into the habit here. You'll learn to carry a little towel with you, dab yourself here and there. But your energy bill, a lot of people say it'll skyrocket, and it will if you're in some of those older homes that are not green when it comes to it, that don't hold it in as well. But you will run your AC pretty much all day long, every day, when you're talking about in those July, August. People that come in from New York, New Jersey, that you don't even use the air conditioner most of the time, those, you will use yours all the time. Now, you can still get a good heat energy bill, AC energy bill. You will be having it most of the time. Hurricane season and flooding. If the heat doesn't get you, hurricane season might. South Carolina sticks out in the Atlantic just enough to be a hurricane magnet. We're actually the 5th most hurricane-prone state in the U.S., with 30 hurricanes making landfall here since 1851. Now, 5 of those were major Category 3 plus storms. Names like Hurricane Hugo in 1989 still send shivers down our spines. Hugo wrecked Charleston and way beyond. Even when we didn't take a direct hit, we often get sideswiped by other tropical storms, meaning fall downpours and gusty winds that can knock out power. Now here in Columbia, it's not as bad. Low country areas like Charleston, they flood if you sneeze too hard. I'm kidding, but maybe only slightly. Charleston now sees around 57 coastal flooding events per year on average. That's a lot. The streets in downtown Charleston turn into canals during heavy rains or king tides. If you move there, invest in some stylish waders and keep an eye on the flood maps. Pollen. Around February, March, usually for a period of about 3 to 4 weeks, we get yellow-green dust storms throughout the state. We've got pine trees and oaks that basically explode with pollen. cars, porches, heck, pets get coated in yellow. Columbia was recently ranked the 14th worst state for allergies by Asthma and Allergy Foundation, and upstate Greenville even ranked number 9 in the nation for worst allergy city. We joke that in the spring it rains pollen, but if you move here, stock up on some Zyrtec and Kleenex. Now the bottom line, if you love mild 75-degree summers, this ain't it. South Carolina summers are long, sticky, and sweltering. Hurricanes will scare the bejesus out of you every fall, especially if you're on the coast. And the pollen might turn you into a teary-eyed goblin for a month or two. It's not unlivable. Millions of us manage. I've been here all my life and I do just fine. But if you're coming from, say, California or up north, brace yourself. The weather here is a little different. Now let's talk about number 2, wildlife. Nature in South Carolina is gorgeous until it crawls into your kitchen or it lounges on your lawn. Let's talk wildlife, folks. The kind that might make you reconsider that house by the pond. Alligators. We have over 100,000 American alligators right here in the state. That's a lot. You may never see them, but what you've got to learn is not to walk your dog right by the water, especially in the intercoastal waterways in Myrtle Beach and Charleston. We do have gators. If you live near a pond or a golf course in the low country, you will likely spot a gator sunbathing. They generally keep to themselves. But again, keep those small pets out of there. Snakes, there's lots of them. South Carolina is home to 38 species of snakes, and 6 of those are venomous. Copperheads are the ones you really got to worry about. Those are the ones that people see or they don't see. They're camouflaged. Those are the ones that you get bit by and end up. We do not have a lot of deaths, rarely any, because we have the anti-venom and stuff and you can get there quickly. I have grown up in the woods, grown up camping, grown up running at Harvest State Park, and I have seen maybe 2 or 3 in my life. They try to get away from you. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is we also have bears, boars, and other things. Believe it or not, we even have black bears in parts of South Carolina. There's around 1,100 black bears roam the mountains in the upstate and some swampy areas downstate, but they're shy. Listen, we were camping, and Phoebe, which is one of the dogs that I have that would never harm a flea, we saw the hairs on her back get really big, and when they did that, we knew something was coming. Sure enough, a little baby cub comes roaring into the camp, just scratching his paws and wanting something to eat. Don't feed them. Don't do anything like that. We do have bugs the size of birds down here. If you have entomophobia, which is the fear of insects, I got bad news for you. South Carolina's unofficial state bird is the palmetto bug. I kid, but I don't kid. But it's a polite name for a gigantic flying cockroach. Now then we also have mosquitoes, swarms of them in the summer. Our marsh, humid environment is a mosquito breeding paradise. Different people are prone to it more. You can, if you step out on a summer dusk without bug spray, you can get eaten alive. They will get you. Now, a lot of people don't realize that mosquitoes are the #1 killer in the entire world. And it's because they do carry diseases too. Although I have never known anybody that has actually died from a mosquito myself. And again, we do have deers too. We have 1,000 or more deer auto wrecks. And deer, bear, raccoon, all of those, they bring hunting in here too. Hunting is a huge tourism event right here in South Carolina. So if you move here, get used to that wildlife cohabitation. You'll share your space with everything from gators to snakes to Jurassic-sized bugs. For many of us, it's just part of the charm. We do love nature, and hey, free alligator shows. But I won't lie, it can be unsettling if you're not used to critters. Think about that as you're coming here. Now, you won't see most of them. Majority of those critters you will never see. But know that they're here and watch the dangerous places that you go, and especially around coastal ways when it comes to gators and all. All right, reason number 3, it's the slow pace of life. Now, South Carolina moves slower culturally, socially, and sometimes even professionally. Multiple linguistic studies rank South Carolina and surrounding southern states among the slowest speech patterns in the entire country. We're second only to Louisiana in some analysis. That's slower speech. It reflects a broader cultural reality. Life here is not rushed. Most people sound just like me with my accent, except even slower, and they do not talk nearly as much as I do either, on or off camera. This does not mean we're not educated. We just tend to take things at a slower, more relaxed pace down here. Listen, please, don't pay attention to the people they find on the national news after a hurricane or a tornado. I'm telling you, I think they look for the biggest redneck, and if you don't know what that is, call me, I'll explain it to you. But they look for the biggest redneck they can find when they're doing all those interviews. They trip me out. Businesses, on a more serious note, businesses do often close earlier. Government processes move slower. Customer service can feel actual casual, even indifferent if you're used to fast-paced urban environments. For people coming from places like New York, Northern California, or even Chicago, this can feel frustrating or even unproductive. But it's also one of the main reasons retirees and vacationers love it here. If you need constant urgency and efficiency, South Carolina can feel like it's stuck in neutral. Reason number 4, the violent crime statistics. Now listen, South Carolina consistently ranks among the top 10 states for violent crime per capita, with a violent crime rate of approximately 437 incidents per 100,000 residents. Now this is compared, on average, to the national average of roughly 380 per 100,000. What's important is the composition of that crime. Over 80% of violent crime in South Carolina is aggravated assault, not random acts of violence. Murders account for less than 2% violent crime incidences statewide. However, state-level rankings don't tell the whole story. Crime is highly localized, concentrated in specific neighborhoods and urban pockets. Many suburbs and family-oriented communities experience crime rates well below the national average. Now that said, people researching states don't always dig that deep. When they see top 10 most violent states, South Carolina gets crossed off the list pretty quickly. Now, when I first started this channel, I had a ton of people actually asking me about the crime statistics here in South Carolina. So I did 2 different videos about the crime here in South Carolina, which blew up and went viral. Now, one was the 10 most dangerous cities in South Carolina, and the other was the 10 safest cities in South Carolina. Definitely, if you want to know more, go check those out. And if you would like more information on this, give me a call. Reason number 5, workplace fatalities. Now this one, a lot of people just wouldn't think about. South Carolina ranks among the highest states in the nation for occupational fatality rates, with over 110 worker deaths reported in a recent year. The driving factors are structural. The state's economy relies heavily on high-risk industries such as construction, manufacturing, transportation, and logistics. South Carolina also ranks near the bottom nationally for OSHA inspection rates. Now this means there's fewer safety checks per worker than almost any other states. For professional, white-collar, or remote roles, this may not matter. But for tradespeople, logistics workers, and construction employees, the data paints a sobering picture. And the biggest thing you want to take from this is that if you're moving here for one of these types of jobs, find out everything you can on the measures each company takes for safety and inspections. Know where you're moving and make sure that it is a higher safety occupation. Number 6, traffic. South Carolina doesn't have big city traffic in most places, but it has badly designed traffic. And it does not help that we have been in the top 5 places to move in the country over the last 5 years. You've got more people coming in, it amounts to more traffic. Several metro areas rank poorly for commute efficiency. Spartanburg has been ranked among the top 10 worst commuting metros in the entire country. And it's largely due to the industrial congestion and outdated road networks. They even did a lot of work on I-85 over the last 10 years, and it's gotten better, but it's still bad. Charleston, it suffers from geographic choke points, bridges, limited highway access, and historic infrastructure that cannot be easily expanded. The way things are, it's just tough to expand a lot of those streets. Now, Myrtle Beach traffic becomes nearly unmanageable during tourist season. I've gone there during the summer, and it takes forever going down 501 into Myrtle Beach. And now, which was known as the best secret to get into Myrtle Beach, 544 near coastal Carolina, near the college, it's even now overcrowded going into the tourist and even the golf season. Interstates like I-95, I-26 are consistently ranked among the most dangerous corridors in the entire Southeast due to freight traffic congestion and accidental rates. But places like Columbia is getting even better, even though people are moving here, especially with the Carolina Crossroads project that I keep talking about. That's fixing a lot of things, such as malfunction junctions, such as I-95, such as the new interchange at I-77 where Scout Motors is going in. But this is why Columbia is known as one of the best location secrets in South Carolina. It's the lower cost of living, the roads are getting better, the traffic can be bad in certain places, but I can even tell you how to get around those. When you're looking, we can survey that even closer. Now, believe it or not, South Carolina routinely ranks. This is number 7. We do have bad drivers. I used to think this was a myth and that all South Carolina drivers really were, we had just as bad as anywhere else. But South Carolina routinely ranks among the top 5 states for traffic fatalities per capita. The fatality rate hovers around 1.7 deaths per 100 million vehicle miles traveled, significantly higher than the national average. Now, a large percentage of the fatal crashes they involve speeding, that's nearly 45%. And a lot of them, alcohol impairment, failure to wear seat belts. South Carolina has one of the highest DUI fatality rates in the nation. And enforcement varies widely by county. For families relocating with kids, the statistic alone can be enough to reconsider. Now, in talking about bad drivers, one thing you gotta remember too, I used to drive a motorcycle, and that is where I learned defensive driving. Defensive driving, you've got to always be on the lookout for the other person. Many times, a fatality won't be your fault. It could be somebody else's fault. But I taught my boys how to drive that same way in a defensive manner, looking out for the other people. And both of them are incredible drivers. One's 24, one's 27. And between the two of them, they've had only one accident. Growing up in high school, I think I had like 5 or 6 fender benders. It depends how you drive too. Always be looking about that other driver. Even though we have bad drivers, it may persuade you, may not persuade you. Just make sure you're doing your job on the road too. Now, reason number 8, heart disease, diabetes, and health. Listen, South Carolina sits squarely in what public health officials call the stroke belt and the coronary artery disease belt. Listen, we got food, great food, and a lot of fried food, but you've got to control yourself like anywhere else, which a lot of people can't hear. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in this state, with approximately 228 deaths per 100,000 residents. This is higher than the national average. Over 50% of adults in South Carolina are diabetic or pre-diabetic, and obesity rates, they exceed 35%. Smoking rates actually remain above the national averages, and access to health care, especially in the rural counties out in the countries, is limited. The state has fewer primary care physicians per capita than most states, and hospital closures in rural areas continue to strain access. Here in the Midlands, go and check out my hospitals video. It's in my retiree and military playlist also. This is not necessarily the case here in the Midlands. We have plenty of hospitals and more coming. Part of our economy is actually built around this. Not only the best places to go, but the places with no waits and everything also. And I tell you where all those locations are, and you're pretty much accessible from anywhere in the Midlands. And included in all those hospitals, which a lot of places do not have, but right here in Columbia, we have our own VA hospital too, for military and veterans. South Carolina has so many benefits that go way beyond just the hospitals. Now, for retirees and families with chronic health concerns, these statistics do matter a lot. Now, number 9, we do have lower wages right here in South Carolina. South Carolina is one of the only handful of states with no state minimum wage. So we rely totally on the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. Nearly 1 in 5 workers earns less than $15 per hour. Now that's compared to roughly 1 in 8 nationally. Wage growth between 2019 and 23 was under 1%, while national wage growth approached 4% between those same years. While housing and taxes are lower, wages lag significantly. For remote workers, this is a benefit. For people entering the local job market, it can be a shock. Now, this also opens up many things for the higher paying and educational jobs here in South Carolina, where you can still get the affordability, but you can be paid on the national level for those that are working from home and with many other vocations. I am actually helping some guys right now that came in from New Jersey, where the husband, he had two different job offers that he could possibly have. One in Charlotte, where he got paid a good bit more, and one in Columbia, where it was a little bit lower. And they chose Columbia not only because of everything that we have to offer, the location and everything that I talk about everywhere else. In that affordability, they got a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house with a full mother-in-law suite, brand new, just built this year for barely over $400K. And they're extremely happy. It just depends where you are in your life at the moment and which lifestyle fits you more. In saying that, there's still a lot of opportunity, but make sure it fits exactly where you're going. All right, for number 10, stuck around, you've got a lot of haunted history right here in South Carolina. Because right here behind me in this particular spot, some paranormal experts were actually out here in Seven Oaks Park, where there used to be a very small cemetery right here. And one of them were actually scratched by something. Call it what you will, but I saw the scratch marks and nobody was around him. But he was antagonizing whatever it was, telling him to show him that something was really there. And it showed him, gave him a nice scratch mark on his back. Now, Charleston is routinely ranked among the most haunted cities in all of America, with hundreds of reported paranormal sightings. I've even done some of the ghost tours in Charleston, and I love the history of many of the spots in Charleston. South Carolina ranks high nationally for paranormal reports per capita, even if the total numbers trail larger states like Texas and California. Columbia itself has an unusually high number of cemeteries relative to population size too. And many historic structures predate modern records. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the state's history is thick, and some people find that unsettling. There have even been tales of catacombs here beneath Columbia and different places like that. This I do not know for sure, but we've got a rich history, and anywhere there's a rich history, people have died from civil wars, from when Sherman came through here, from the streets of Charleston, whether it's catacombs of Columbia, all the way up into Greenville in the Union County. There's supposedly more witchcraft and different things too. And listen, and we actually have our own lizard man that came across back in 87, 88. Apparently it's in Lee County and somebody got attacked there. He breaks into cars. Even here at the National Forest, Congaree National Forest there's still stories of him breaking into cars and stuff to this day. If you ever look up lizard man, we have our own Bigfoot too. So in conclusion, guys, there you have it. 10 reasons you might think twice about moving to South Carolina. From our swampy summer armpit weather and monster mosquitoes to alligators on the golf course, slow talking neighbors, high crime stats, low paychecks, and yes, even haunted houses. Now you might be asking, Chad, do you even like living there? You just trashed the place for 20 minutes. Now let me be clear, I absolutely love South Carolina. I was born and raised here, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. Every state has its downsides. I'm not afraid to tell you ours. In fact, if you believe you can accept and deal with these 10 dark side items, you'll truly appreciate the good sides of South Carolina. And there's so many things. That's a whole nother video entirely, one I may be doing soon after this. Maybe after hearing all this, you're thinking, nope, not for me, and that's okay. Better to know now. But maybe you're thinking, you know, none of that stuff scares me off. I still want those palm trees, beaches, and friendly smiles. If that's you, then we might be a perfect fit. Because if you can handle the worst of South Carolina, you'll definitely love the best of it. And hey, if you still want to move here after all this, I'm 100% your guy. I'll help you navigate the gators and the ghost tours, but I'd love to help you find the perfect home and community here, one that maximizes the positives and minimizes these negatives for you. There are always ways to beat the heat. Hello, Lake Murray days. Outsmart the traffic, timing is everything, and pick a safe, welcoming neighborhood that feels like home. So thank you for sticking with me through this candid rundown of South Carolina's not so finest moments. Hope that didn't scare you too much, or if it did, maybe it was in an entertaining way. If you appreciated this honest approach, please hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more real talk about living right here in South Carolina. I promise I've got plenty of positive videos too. I just believe in giving you the full picture and the whole truth. Now, if you're considering a move, or even if you're on the fence after this video, let's chat. My contact information are in the description below. Schedule a Zoom, drop me a text, whatever works for you. No spooky sales pitch, just honest help. Now I gotta ask, which of these 10 reasons would be your deal breaker? Tell me in the comments. Or if you already live here, did I miss any dark side truths? Share your story. Thanks for watching the dark side of South Carolina. It's been a fun one to make. Remember, I do this because I care that you find the right place to live, even if that ends up not being here. But if it is here, I'll welcome you with open arms and maybe a mosquito net as a housewarming gift. Who knows? Until next time, take care and watch out for all those ghosts at night.